we met some new neighbors. They moved in and they had invited us to come eat with them. And we come over there and they make quiche. I've never had quiche in my life.
Quiche is a very interesting thing to make for a dinner when you're meeting people for the first time, too.
Yeah, I've heard of quiche. I was interested in quiche. I didn't exactly know what it was. It's essentially egg pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, egg pie with like extra little stuff in it. So we had that. Did not like it. Couldn't eat it. Couldn't get it down. And I did spit it in a little napkin. Throw it away. So they noticed I didn't like it. So they made me a ham sandwich. And ham sandwich was also not my life.
How did you mess that up? What's a ham sandwich?
Y'all seen Undercover Brother, right?
Oh no! What's up? Back for episode 19. We got the boys are back, and I'm here with the benevolent Breezy and the relentless Ryan, and we'll get right into the show.
The malevolent Mark.
Malevolent? Yeah, I like that. I'll take that. I'll be malevolent. So this out of pocket was I don't know. It was kind of childish, but not really. So the story's about a guy. It's no name. So it's a guy talking about his friend and her girlfriend. So guy, I'll just call guy. Friend is S. The girlfriend is L. Because that's just how to reference them in the story, just so everyone can stay on the page. So I and S rented an apartment together with two other guys. All of us moved from small towns and became friends really quickly after hanging out a few times. L and S met in the club, and they were going out for a while. Coincidentally, L and I were pursuing the same career. This is college courses. I mean, they're all in college, so they had the same career path. And he said, but I never really liked her, and she was a little too stuffy and spoiled. Like, she always talked about her brand name stuff. She was very clingy, and she stayed at our apartment a lot and kept commenting about hygiene, clothing, and stuff that we did at home. We had a roommate meeting to clarify that she needs to go, and that, or at least reduce the amount of time she's here. And she still showed up a lot. She stopped showing up at the house so much, but she still showed up a lot at the outings that we had. So let's just say you all kind of hated her by this point, and we were secretly hoping that they would break up with her. And it finally happened due to the pandemic and all of us returning home, and Elle could not handle a long-distance relationship, so they ended up breaking up. Elle called me multiple times after to discuss their relationship with S, and so I pretended to be sad about their breakup and try to help her through it. But now I decided that I no longer needed to help her academically, so I started ignoring her calls and messages. Once or twice I told her that I was busy and I simply couldn't help her. But she kept pursuing it, and one day I picked up her call and started screaming at she started screaming at me for ignoring her, about how I was punishing her for breaking up with my friend and me being a bad friend. And I finally lost it and told her that I was never her friend and I only helped her because she was my friend's girlfriend. Then she started crying when I hung up, and after some time I got a phone call from my roommate about how I made her cry after our conversation had ended. My roommate told me that I could have picked a little differently way to handle it, and the way I did it just wasn't cool. So recap. A couple guys live together. Two of the guys are BFFs. One of the guys started dating. Girlfriend's kind of the worst. So they just decided to tell him about it. She stopped coming around as much. After they break up, he was still helping her because they had the same college courses together. But then after a while, he just didn't feel like he needed to do it anymore, so he more or less told her to fuck off.
Understandable.
But then she started crying, and then she went to show her boyfriend. She started crying, called her ex about it. He called his boy and was like, bro, why you gotta do it like that?
Yeah, I understand. Friendship's so weird. Like, people don't understand the bounds of friendship. And people handle friendship a lot differently than other people. That's one thing I notice, and even as I get older,
yeah, people value it differently. It weighs differently.
Very differently. Some people, you're a little bit nice to them and you're automatically, best friend.
Right. And then some people
BFF.
Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go pick them up, and they can give two shits less about you.
Yeah.
Seems a little inevitable. Doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like they didn't have a real relationship based off of any kind of friendship. It was just convenience.
Right.
And that convenience ran out. But he didn't quite let her know that beforehand, so she had to find out the hard way.
Yeah, and like a couple of the comments that I read afterward where the guy said something back along the lines of, he's like, I should have told her like up front that I didn't really want to deal with her anymore. But she was talking she called about the breakup and she didn't really have anyone else to call. So I was like trying to help her. But at some point I just didn't care anymore.
Gotcha.
And I was just like, fair enough. Like, so you're just trying to be a good guy or whatever. And then you just couldn't be bothered anymore. And so you blew up on it. Like, it doesn't make it right, but I get how you got there. You're just like, I just don't want to deal with this shit.
So he blew up on her? That's how he
that last time, yeah, he told her to F off, and that's why she called her ex,
Gotcha.
his roommate, to had a conversation.
Gotcha. Because that's the thing. Like, I don't even know if he just said that straight up, if that wouldn't hurt her feelings.
I mean, her feelings are kind of gonna be hurt regardless.
That's what
because she seems, because the way they say she like super stuck with like brand name stuff and like just that type of person. Like, egotistical people are a little easy to break. You know what I mean?
To me, that's the more interesting conversation. Like, is it, when it comes to stuff like that, should we coddle people's feelings or should we be just straight up with them? Like, y'all broke up, so I don't,
I mean, it sounds like that's what he said. Mm-hmm. He said it was screaming at her, but it sounded like more or less he was just like, yeah, bro, I don't really fuck with you like that. Like, It was just, you were his girlfriend, so like, we dealt with each other, but like, now that you're not, I don't care.
Yeah, and which sounds harsh to certain folk. But
I mean, it's true. Especially if you have, person being told that aren't quite aware of what the real situation was the whole time.
Yeah.
It can be, what is it? Reality check?
Yeah. Reality check. Yeah. Yeah, should we coddle people and save people from reality checks, or should we just,
I'd say don't lie. Be honest. Like, I don't really mess with you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't call me back. And it's harsh, but you can say that a lot worse, which it kind of sounds like the OP in Passion may have actually done. So like maybe he is out of pocket with the way he said it, or rather with what he said, but just like breaking her off, that's not out of pocket. So you just gotta
it was definitely like
you gotta do it right.
Yeah. But I don't know, Breezy brings up a good point too, though, about like the coddling of it, because it's like,
coddled things eventually.
But I guess my question is that like, if this conversation is between two guys, would it even matter? What I mean, like, let's say like,
I get what you mean.
3, you get 2 friends, and you have a friend of a friend, and 2, you. For example, like, when we're talking about, like, back in the day, when you had those when Breezy and Lloyd were over, but then you had the other guys over, and you wanted to get the other guys out of the house. Like, if you just told those other guys to F off and leave, it's like...
Yeah, that'd be out of pocket. I'm thinking, like, I did tell them all that, you gotta go. I'm sorry, but I didn't tell them fuck off. I laid it on them honestly. So I'm like, you guys have been coming over too much, and I can't have you turning my house into a party house. And they understood, and we're still friends now. But if I had told them, like,
I think
y'all motherfuckers gotta leave. I think that is actually what I said in the podcast.
I guess what I meant though is like, just where we are in society as a whole is like the fact that like. The only reason I think that this conversation is even relevant is because she's a female. Because my thing is, if it was a guy tells another guy like, bro, I was only cool with you because you was cool with him, but y'all not cool. Y'all don't really talk to each other anymore. So like, we're not cool no more. Like, it is what it is. No matter how that guy would have said it to the other guy, it doesn't matter.
I think it may also be that, like, OP did say that he just straight up from the very beginning, when he first met her, didn't like her personality because she was talking down to people,
right? Off top,
and you like take that and like continue it for like a whole year, maybe. There's gonna be a lot of pent up resentment, and eventually you're just like, boom, fuck you, and you blow up on them because you never liked them to begin with. Those guys, I like them. My friends, I actually, still do like them. They're still my friends, so. Different.
It's more so relevant because of the reaction it got. Like even if it was a dude, like if they react up there, just start bawling, it would be the same sort of problem.
That's true, and also it would be
No, it'd be worse.
It'd be quite the out of pocket story.
It'd be worse. Like if I tell a guy to F off and he just starts crying,
then it's like you're wondering, like, oh man, is it something?
I'm probably gonna be more insulting, to be honest.
More insulting.
I'm probably more insulting. Yeah.
I mean, I expected to, you know.
Damn.
Because I mean, like, as messed up as it is, and I understand it's messed up. Like, as a guy, you just can't cry. You just can't cry in front of another guy that you're having an altercation with. Like, it's your boy, your brother, your dad, or something. Yeah, but like, as a man, you go into an altercation with another man, you can't cry, bro.
No, I legit feel bad because it's like, dang, if this meant I would feel a little bit out of pocket if somebody just started breaking down, crying in front of me. If I just said like, we aren't real friends or whatever. I don't like you that much. If they just start crying, I feel bad because it's like, okay, maybe somehow I misled them. And maybe somehow they value this way more than I did. So damn. I don't know. I think with my personality, I would try to rectify that and help that person. But how would I feel about it though? How would I feel about it myself?
Disgust. That's what I would just be like.
I wouldn't feel disgust. I would legit feel bad. I would legit feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's heartless thing. So I'm just like, ugh.
Like why?
Just like, like I don't.
Because you already didn't like the person.
Yeah, so I'm like, and like now you're crying in front of me. It's just like you're just.
I got a soft spot for like pathetic.
God, man. You guys are both just as brutal as each other.
Yeah.
But in like the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because, so Breeze, imagine the way, because you are who you are, I do see you being compassionate, trying to figure it out. Yeah. But I also see you being very abrasive in how you handle it. That's the thing, yeah. And you're going to end up in the same spot I am in with just more steps.
I guess so.
Because you're going to try to make the situation better.
Because I don't like the person. I wouldn't want to be around them, but I would want to help. That's the whole
right,
crux of it. Yeah. And I do find myself in those situations quite often.
And I'm just like, ooh, pathetic. Go away.
Yeah, but it's like this person, they have a need at this moment. So it's like, you know, if I can add something to them to make them, to improve their life, yeah. But that's the question. Like, is it real? Because I don't really want to be there.
See, that's what I hate at. Because it's like, if I don't like someone, I tell them to F off. Yeah. And they start crying. I don't care.
You don't care.
Like, I didn't like you in the first place. I just told you I didn't like you. So I just, whatever tie we had, I just severed it. So like, once you start crying,
I respect that more. Yeah,
I'm out.
I respect that more than the way I would handle things because it's completely honest. But the way I would do it isn't honest. But it's just not. To me, it's not as good.
I would help in the sense of like, if it's someone that I had a standing relationship with, and I just don't. Something happened and we just not cool no more. I might at that point is like because of who we were before. I might try to make sure that you're like okay, and if you're not okay, someone is coming to get you or to help deal with the situation. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I can
get them some sort of help.
Yeah, because I'm not doing it, but like I will make sure that someone that cares enough to do it will do it.
Yeah. Then that's fair. That's fair.
But it won't be me.
That's the way to handle it.
I'm trying to think of anyone that I actually know where I can take this idea to, but like if I haven't liked you for like if like our entire relationship has been one of necessity rather than actual connection, I'll just tell them straight and then I'll leave.
I respect that. Yeah, a lot of friendships are actually born out of convenience when you really think about it.
They start out of convenience, yeah. Because like we had classes together, so you talk to the people around you, but then you find out like, hey, you like the same things, like you like the same food, the same drink, the same blah blah blah, and then it goes from there.
Those are actual connections, though. This is our connection was your ex-boyfriend, and that ex-boyfriend is gone.
Ex-boyfriend.
So our only connection now is the time that we go to our classes, which is unfortunately at the same time. That was their connection.
Yep.
She may have thought that it was an actual friendship, but it wasn't. This is tough.
Friendship's weird, man. It's weird because you establish boundaries.
At least you're supposed to, but you don't. That's what. I mean, yeah, you don't.
Don't normally, because if you do, it feels weird. It feels too mechanical.
And I'm back.
Yeah. So we were talking about friendship boundaries, like how it just, you don't really establish friendship boundaries initially, so you don't know the parameters of what the friendship is. So you kind of just rely on a feeling.
Yeah.
Initially of what friendship is. Just spending time together usually builds up friendship experience levels, you know.
Fortunately,
True, you do social links.
As far as that story went, those first experiences were not good ones. You know, hygiene, talking down, looking at my Prada bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah, because the way I see it is just like it's a bachelor pad, and you got a girl coming in here just making. The thing is like coming from his point of view is like, was she actually talking down to him, or was she just a girl coming into a bachelor pad making comments? You know what I mean? Because we don't know the context of it. Like just to argue, just for the sake of argument, play devil's advocate. It's like you got 5 dudes living in the house. It probably looks like 5 dudes are living in the house.
For sure. I'll say if I go over to your house and you are girl slobbing, I'm not gonna point that out.
True, but that's also a difference between guys and girls in general, though.
Hot take.
Hot take.
I agree, but hot take.
Because I mean, just for example, like anytime someone comes over our house, like Sophie just starts cleaning shit because she just assumes that people are going to just look at stuff. Like when I invite people over, I'm just like, "This is my house. If you don't like it,
there's the door.
It's multiple doors you can leave out of.
Fair enough.
If you got to say something, if I don't like it,
and
I'm going to tell you to move the doors and some windows. And depending on how this conversation goes, you can leave through a door or a window. Depending on what's going to happen.
Man. Yeah. So is there a point where, like, a friendship, for instance, in this case, they were together, say they were together for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Studying together. You spend 6 months with this person for, a couple hours maybe every day. Or
every couple days.
Yeah. At some point with enough banter, wouldn't that feel like a friendship?
Not if you don't like them to begin with.
But my thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You can put up a face that long. Because I could put up the face of, like, people at work that I don't like. Because this is a couple hours, here and there day. But, like, that's at work. In my personal life, if I don't like, I'm not dealing with you that long.
Yeah.
Like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or not. Like, whoever you are. Like, I don't like you that much. Because it's like, the way he popped up on it, like, he has some resentment for her. So it's like,
I might actually change now that we're discussing a bit more deeply, I might change my mind. I think I might say he's out of pocket.
I kind of do agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel as if he may have just did it wrong. Just went too emotional on it. Just blown up too much.
I think the whole thing's wrong. Cause
yeah, from start to finish, that's what I'm saying. Like, the more we talk about it, I'm thinking that too.
Because even now that I'm reassessing, like, the stuff that I would normally do, I don't think that's the right way of handling things. Like, if you don't want to be around somebody, you just shouldn't be around them.
Yeah, because I'm like, in that situation, like, if you had because we have a conversation about, like, girls I brought around, and y'all didn't really fuck with her like that. Y'all was like, yeah, bro, we had a conversation about it. And so, like, the fact that they did have a meeting, like a roommate meeting, and talk to him about it, and she started coming over less, but he definitely still should have been like, tell her, like, I don't really talk to your girl, bro. Like, I really don't want to help her on homework and stuff because I don't really like her like that. And I'm doing this for you, so, like, can you get me out of it type deal? Yeah, because you do lead people on, and, like, she felt some type of connection. Enough time around somebody, you start feeling that connection. And it gets even more weird because, like, in this case, he's offering something to her at no cost. Right. Like, he's literally doing something out of the goodness of his heart.
He's where it seems to her. Yeah. But he did that because his friend he was ultimately doing all this for his friend.
Right.
It's just a weird situation. Even after all this, I don't really know how to classify any of this. It's just a weird gray area.
Yeah. From top, he just should have said, like, I don't really like you like that, so I don't really want to deal with you like that. And avoided because essentially, like Ryan said, like, he just lied the whole time. Like, you pretended you liked her for the entirety of the relationship, and then, like, when you got to the point where, like, it wasn't convenient for you to lie anymore, you just blew up on her. Yeah. Which, like, even if she is however she is as a person or not, like, technically you shouldn't just blow up on people like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he pretended to like her or not. You can just be, like, cordial to someone.
But my thing is, like, for her to, like Breezy said, like, for her to be calling him to that degree, it would have had to be like something more than just like the answer to number 4 is X plus Y. You know what I mean? Like it just.
That's the thing. It wasn't. I don't think it was just literally cut and dry. I don't think it was literally just like he comes over help her. There was some like banter in between.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like
people can start to feel like that's the start of a friendship. Like if you have enough dialogue with the person, that's not mechanical dialogue. You start to feel, and that's how like work friendships.
Right, because it's usually a group activity, right? You go out with like 8 or 9 people. Like everyone gets off work, you go to the bar together. You usually sit with the people like that you know and that you often hang out with.
Yeah.
But Sally's across the table for you. You talk to her every now and again or whatever. And it's like, because he did say they went out a lot and she was always with their group dynamic. So I mean, it sounds like they were there. And if he was helping her with her work and stuff for school, I mean, during those outings, she was trying to talk to him at some point. You know what I mean? Like just about whatever.
Just as a person. And the thing is, friendship's hard because like I had to learn that in my 20s, like how to separate, like again, work friends from like other friends, because work friends are purely there for convenience. Typically, it can become a pure friendship, but it's usually just y'all commiserating about work. Those conversations usually are a bit limited. It's like surface level. Unless y'all really connect with each other, then it's a bit deeper than that. And I really had to learn how to navigate that. And I created my own weird version of like what friendship means and what friendship is. So unless people do that, they run into the risk of everybody's their friend. Everybody who gives them the time of day, gives them time, talks to them. It's like, oh, they don't hate me, so they must be my
friend. It's like, or they could just be an associate, or you could just be a person existing, and you just had a 2-minute conversation with him. That's it.
And in this case, he was just decent to her. Like he wasn't toxic. Even in his head, he probably was toxic. But to her, he was a nice figure over a long period of time. And so thusly in her brain, he was a friend.
Plus he helped her with the breakup too. Like that's the part what kind of leaves me about her though. Like after they broke up, she was calling you, he was helping her with the breakup. And it's like,
it's a gray area.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if I don't like you and I know I haven't liked you, I'm not doing that.
All right.
I'm not. I don't care.
That is the time to stop answering the phone.
Because if the person you don't like calls you and like, oh man, I just broke up with my boyfriend, can you help me through it? It's like, why would you?
But did they have like classes together?
They had this. They were in the same course. It didn't necessarily say they had the same. It was possible. They could have had the same classes. They could have not. It just said they were in the same course.
Ultimately, it comes down to what me and Mark talked about earlier, the differences between us two. At a certain point, you have to be a little bit callous.
Firm.
And cut it off completely. Because that's the difference. He did the thing I would do, and he was merciful to her. He showed her kindness, but it just prolonged
his own suffering.
And hers, too, because it made her think there was something else there.
I mean, she's suffering now. But before, she was getting help with her homework.
Exactly.
So she's all right with this.
Exactly. But he built up that capital of suffering because the bond grew more in her head, and then he severed it suddenly.
He paid monthly. She had to pay a lump sum at the end.
Yeah,
that's just
it's just the like the downside of being nice, because it ultimately it's kind of false.
I like this out of pocket. Because we're nice and conflicted about this.
Yeah, you were pretty cut and dry. Like, I like this one.
Yeah. It seems simple, but now it's like a whole question like friendship, man, and being kind and generous. Like, you have to put boundaries on it, just like you got to put boundaries on everything else.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't know where it's going.
Being nice to everyone is more of a hindrance than being nice to certain people. And I don't mean that to be a cynic and like say like you should go around punching people. I just mean like in the sense of like it would behoove you more to talk to like 2 or 3 people on your walk for like 5 minutes than talk to everyone for a minute.
Gotcha.
Because of stuff like that. Because then like you run into like all these awkward ass scenarios and it's like initially no one's wrong. Cause like, like you said, you kind of fill out the friendship or whatever. And if you didn't like her at cause the thing again too, at some point, in friendship, you start taking bigger risk isn't the word, but you start taking
investment.
You start spending more time because at first it's like, let's go get coffee. That's what, an hour at most. You get coffee, you talk shit, eat a sandwich, whatever, you leave. Then you do like lunch or dinner, or you hang out at people's house, go to the movie. Like that time it expands, and it's just like the more and more you spend time with people you don't like, it's like more and more like, why are you doing that to yourself,
dude? Yeah,
like at the end of the day, why are you doing it to yourself?
That's
putting yourself in the torture.
I had to learn that through. Oh, I'm sorry.
I said slippery slope.
Yeah,
man,
easy.
I had to learn that through like dating and friendships. It's like, even if y'all like, if it's two people y'all like mildly interested in each other, if it's not like a strong connection, like it's just y'all just wasting each other's time. At that point.
But it's like, I feel like we put so much emphasis on like the fact of like being nice to people in the sense of like going along with that instead of like being nice in the sense of being honest. Like we put more emphasis on being nice instead of being honest. Where in the sense you like, yo, I'm just not really feeling this. Like you want to be cool, we can hang out every now and again, but it's like us like one-on-one thing. It's not really what I'm feeling.
I like your way because it establishes your own boundaries. Like my way doesn't give any sort of credence to my own boundaries. I'm just doing this to help this other.
Yeah, and it's like, take care of your four walls first.
Yeah. And to be honest, I feel as if OP may have sort of been ambushed by this a little bit because, as I remember, he had started to basically ghost her. And then at some point, she called him emotionally saying, you hate me, and was, I imagine, going off on him. And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And then he just laid out just all 100% honesty.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was more honesty than she could.
Her cup runneth over with honesty.
And I sort of feel as if OP might be the type to feel that hurting the other person in any way would make them out of pocket. Just OP seems a little bit like light himself on fire to keep someone else warm.
Yeah.
And so his view of himself may be a little skewed in this.
Gotcha.
Fair.
Feels as if the truth came out in the end.
It always does.
Ultimately, though,
like if it had come out earlier, OP would be a lot happier. The other woman would be a lot, less.
But I mean, they might have actually gained the actual friendship. Because like some aspects of like you're even like us, like some aspects like when we first started hanging out with each other, we had things that we didn't necessarily, I won't say didn't like about each other, but maybe habits that we weren't used to for various reasons and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Like you guys are definitely different from everybody else I hung out with.
Yeah, but it's like, we didn't change who we are, like who we are. We just changed some shit we did. Because it was just like, and I feel like if you'd have told her like, you're just kind of obnoxious and like you just talk too much shit. Like if you just pull that back a bit, we might be, because like if you're in the same course, right? So you have some type of similar interests. Not saying you need to be best friends, but like there's some baseline there, and it's like if you guys have this baseline interest, like you could, or you completely hate each other. It was like, I feel like it was unfair to yourself and unfair to her to just hate her from the background instead of just being like, I'm spending all this time with you anyway. It's like, why not try to have like break some common ground?
It was convenient, then it was inconvenient. That's all.
Point.
I guess I'm just more selfish in a way. It's like, if I'm going out of my way for, let's say I'm helping your girlfriend learn how to cook something or whatever. If I don't like her that much, I just can't do it. Like I can't math the part of like him not liking her for that long and still like helping her with classes. Because I would just be like, I would have did like once or twice and
it
just
is
like,
a long time.
Nah.
It's only because he was still friends with her guy, right?
Yeah. I'm telling both of y'all have a girlfriend that I hate that much. I'm not helping her with shit. I'm gonna let you know. I'll be cordial with her. When she say help something, I'm like, I broke my leg that day. It's cool.
Wait, hold on. It took me a second to parse that. My dog ate my broken leg.
Yeah, I'm so messed up.
That's a good one, man. That's gonna give me a lot of food for thought.
So what's you got final takes? We're gonna leave it open ended.
It's interesting, man, and I think we are. It's a lot we don't know too.
I'll say, sorry, OP, you are out of pocket. You got to be more honest with yourself and with the other person earlier. If you don't like someone, you got to cut them off. Just do that for yourself, if no one else.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect.
Yeah. You're not out of pocket for not liking her, though. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Establish your own boundaries. And if you don't like, helping her out, which I don't even know if that was the problem, but yeah, if you don't like her, then you shouldn't waste your time.
It's called be something else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I actually want to talk to you guys about. I found a thread, and not a gaslighty thread. It's 20 unspoken rules for men. So just like 20 rules that men kind of live by. So like,
can we guess some of them? Can we guess some of them?
I mean, yeah, you can guess some of them.
All right. Oh, before you tell them, like,
it's 16 of them.
16.
Okay.
They're all going to be based in stoicism.
Yeah, and these ones, so a lot of them are like legit, like good ways to just like live life, or just like good tidbits, good advice tidbits. Some of them I don't necessarily agree. I say like it's 16. I think it's like 10 or 12 by that guy. Like I like wholeheartedly like legit with, gel with.
Yeah, I guess them.
You want to guess a couple?
Yeah.
So unless there's something life threatening, there's a 1 stall distance minimum.
That's not in here, but yes, that is a rule. That is a rule.
Don't talk too much. You look cooler if you don't talk too much.
That was on here some way, somehow.
Yep.
Never.
Listen, nod, and most of all, make eye contact.
Yep.
I don't make eye contact. I don't like your face.
You got to.
I don't like anyone's face.
Eye contact is always a little bit of a challenge.
See, I just looked at Breezy's eyes, and I gotta look at Audacity now. That was a mistake.
See, I only use eye contact to assert dominance. Like it's really no other. It's really no because like that's the whole point of it. Like eye contact, like maintaining eye contact
apparently
is all to assert. Because it's weird. Because for the animal kingdom, that's all it is.
I grew up in church, and that was the way to. In a way, it's a way to command dominance, but it's more of a way to command respect. Like you look somebody in the eye, that way you can't. It's an honest.
You see,
not
I don't like that.
No,
I don't like the honest part. You take you take something right that neurotypical people do, and you just take the concept of honest and you stake a claim on it. Like,
oh yeah, like
I can look at you and I can look you in the eye and lie. I am totally fine with doing that.
This is true.
I can look you in the eye and tell the truth.
This is true.
I don't have to look you in the eye to be honest. I don't have to look away from you to lie.
That's why I think the whole looking someone in the eye is honest. I think that was just a spin to use it. Like it was always for dominance. That's all it's ever been used for.
It's really good for like just having a genuine connection with people. Because if you're talking to somebody and they're just all like this, it's not good.
Is different. Like when someone is talking to me and I am really, really listening to them, I turn my ear towards them so I can hear them better.
I'm doing that more as I get older. Yeah. I mean,
you've always had that trait though. Like, I was going to say like
call me out like that. Like,
no, me too though. As I get older though,
it's like I'm thinking extremely deeply on what you are saying. But like if you're talking and I'm like doing I mean if I'm writing something down, I'm probably writing down what you're saying, right. Which means I am thinking about what you're saying as hard as I can. But if I'm on the phone, that's just fucking rude and I'm not listening to you. So that's when I'm bullshitting.
It's obvious, yeah.
But like different people listen differently. And there is this stigma on not looking people in the eye or, not looking at people. And it's like, when my ear is towards you and my head is down, I'm thinking like this, like, you've got my full attention.
Yeah. I don't really, cause over the years, you do notice that I worked in restaurants, I worked in retail. People do listen differently. I had this one guy I work with, at a restaurant. He didn't look at you at all. Like, at all. Like, it wasn't necessarily shyness. It just wasn't his thing. He just didn't want to look you in the eye at all. And, you get used to that.
Because like different people are different. Because you know how people are growing up. Like, some people like don't, because like some cultures like you shouldn't look people in the eye. You're not supposed to look people in the eye, or
that's a good
or certain parents are just like don't look directly at me, blah blah. Like it's just a myriad of different reasons why
So I've adopted like a lot of different ways. Like my go-to is the eye contact, but since my teens, it was a lot of eye contact in my teens, but now over time it's like dwindled. And I do a variety of things when I listen or talk to people.
Yeah, it's depending. For me, it's depending on the situation and like what we're going on about.
Yeah.
No, like if we're having if it's a serious conversation, usually it's a lot of eye contact just to make sure, like, you know, because I feel like when you're having a serious, intimate conversation where just like a small amount of people, like you say a lot with like your facial expressions and like your eyes, your ears, like how just normal nonverbal communication. But I feel like when it's in a one-on-one setting, you're more inclined to be yourself, like let your you show, so like you'll get the real, like the how you would quote unquote naturally act, like take off your face or whatever, you're out there.
Yeah. And another funny thing, when we're recording like this, I get a little worried about looking lovingly into anyone's face for a long time and being recorded doing that. Just
the most not like that. The most awkward thing is
see. Awkward, right? Right.
No, it's more awkward when you look into the camera. Yeah, there you go.
See?
That's but you had the 1,000-yard death stare.
Yeah. I mean, like, normally different. Just looking at the camera.
No, you had no movement here.
You just
you were slowly invading my space.
It's my space now.
Because like the way I see it, I try to look at the camera like it's a person, so I talk a little bit and I look over here, it's another person sitting there, go and then come back around, you know?
I think this may have been the first time I've ever looked at the camera. Yeah,
we should go back here.
I've ever looked at the camera.
Let us know in the comments. Is that the first time Ryan's looked at the camera?
Sometimes when my head is turning, it may accidentally
for like a frame
straight towards the camera, but that's because I'm under.
All right, so we need to find the impact frames of Ryan.
Usually you can get them before we start the show. Usually you're looking at the camera just before the show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I feel very.
So we're gonna.
Very nervous now.
You've been exposed.
He exposed my.
All right. Well, we all about to get exposed because we're gonna agree with how many that we're subscribe to.
That was the subject, wasn't it?
So the first one: never shake hands sitting down. I don't.
Why the hell would you?
It's awkward.
You're supposed to.
It's happened because, like, if somebody just comes in too hot and you just can't get up.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
But it's awkward because, I mean, like, if someone's standing over you, you don't fully extend your arm, so it's kind of just like a weird.
Yeah, I had to learn that, but I had to learn that fairly recently. Like 4 years ago is when I learned that was rude.
They have to sort of lean in towards you, and you have to reach out towards.
It's like I'm already sitting.
Yeah,
yeah. Because I like the corporate actual handshake, and you shake the hand and like grab like. The back part of his arm, and you make the eye contact, like, yeah.
All right, nice, man.
Yeah, and then you.
Oh no, you got Donald Trump. You ever see Trump?
Trump's aggressive.
Yeah, hold on, right. How you doing, buddy? You gotta do this multiple times. You ain't multiple times.
But it has to be after you make a point. So that's just like an old school business thing from like the 60s and 70s.
But he's on steroids though.
Maybe he's actually just like trained in martial arts. You know, it's funny, but that is how you're supposed to actually do throws. You're supposed to strike the throw.
Yeah.
So it felt like I was. Felt like there was a combo coming after that.
He just knows the cameras are on him at all times, so it makes him look strong and it makes the other person look weak because they're doing this the whole time. Every time he
it's like
yanks him in.
For the president, for when he did that, when he was the president of the country, and like he was doing it to like opposing like diplomats and stuff.
That was hilarious because they would give him as much as they got.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great because it's like. It's funny because when you see Trump interact with various diplomats and stuff, you can always tell like who was on the same like level that he was by that shake.
Gotcha.
Because some people would just like let it happen or whatever. It was like, oh, you're just a mayor, you just let it happen.
Yeah.
But if you're like the king of a country and he comes in and does that, you're just like,
the funny thing is, I think somebody studied him doing that handshake.
The handshake,
and they prepared for it. I think it was Trudeau. Because they just stood there, just
a silent beef struggle,
chest to chest. Mm-hmm. I think it was Trudeau. I might be wrong, but I think it was Trudeau.
But yeah, it's some fun clips to watch. All right, this one I'd agree with. Protect who is behind you. Respect who's beside you.
I get that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you keep the people that walk along with you and protect the people behind you.
Soldier.
Never insult the cooking when you are the guest.
Good people.
That's hard to do sometimes. Because sometimes you go to a person's house and you want to eat the food and you try to eat it and you can't swallow it.
So for that,
Is
like, I
is there a
know-
story behind here?
I know for a fact that I'm not going to eat your food before I even get to your house.
That's fair.
Because I was like, I could tell how you carry yourself, how you keep your
There's
kitchen.
some hockey story going on here.
Uh-oh.
It's like he can sense the cook power within you, and you are found wanting.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I think I feel that though. I think the situation I was in,
You knew.
you
Oh,
knew,
Jesus.
And you just went along with it.
that's true. That he's right. He's
Oh,
100%
Jesus.
Yeah, like
right.
you know.
He's
It's not even like
100%
a cook thing. You know when you.
Yeah.
I need some background here, folks. I am lost. Ooh, contents. Let's go.
All right. In my case, I'll do it real quick. In my case, I lived with my brother for the first time. I was like maybe 15 or so. So I lived with him, and we met some new neighbors. They moved in, and they had invited us to come eat with them. And we come over there, and they make quiche. I've never had quiche in my life.
Quiche is a very interesting thing to make for a dinner when you're meeting people for the first time, too.
Yeah, I've heard of quiche. I was interested in quiche. I didn't exactly know what it was. It's essentially egg pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, egg pie with like extra little stuff in it. So we had that. Did not like it. Couldn't eat it. Couldn't get it down. And I did spit it on that napkin. Throw it away. So they noticed I didn't like it. So they made me a ham sandwich. And the ham sandwich was also not, like.
How did you mess that up? Some ham sandwich.
Y'all seen Undercover Brother, right?
Oh no! Okay, that's actually better than what I was going for. I was thinking Minority Report.
No, it was the moistest ham sandwich of all time. No,
All right, have you guys seen Minority Report?
In like 2000, it
It was
came out. I don't
wild.
remember what
It was wild,
specifically
though.
you're talking about.
yeah.
I remember the Undercover Brothers scene because that was like a joke in school forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
Talk about
sports.
Oh shit!
Did you manage to eat the sandwich?
No, it was fucking covered in mayonnaise. Why would I eat that shit? I left so hungry.
That actually really influences the way that I present my meals. I try to keep things separate when I'm giving them to other people.
Yeah.
Just in case they don't like, the flair that I add in. So
Yeah, fair enough.
To be fair, I'm a very picky eater.
You are. But usually, like, if you're having like a dinner party, you usually go with like basic shit. Like you keep like chicken, burgers, like ribs, like just stuff that like generic, just across the board, like people like.
But most people can save face long enough to eat the quiche. And then
eat the quiche.
eat at least part of it to not appear
Eat the sport.
to not appear like an ass. I just can't do it.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, there are certain foods that I'm not gonna. You know what, Mark? You're up.
No, I didn't have a story about it. It's just
okay.
Yeah.
Other people have told me. I don't have anything in particular. Other people told me stories, and I'm like, yeah, did you look at them though?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just.
So I will. When I was a kid, I had many family gatherings with families who were very, very proud of their potato salads. Or
I'm
their
already out.
Yeah.
chicken salads. Especially potato salads. People can really... Oh, it's always the same thing. Tell them you don't like potato salad. And they puff up their chest.
Never had my potato salad.
Yeah, that's right. Never had mine. I was like, it's the same fucking problem.
Yeah, the 7 ingredients that you use, the same one my mama been using, bro. Like, chill. Just because you add a little extra paprika don't make it good. Out of here.
So yeah, it sounds like me and Mark somehow have the same experience with this.
Same here too. I'm just letting y'all preach.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's just generic black family gathering. Like somebody
you don't like potato salad, and you gotta eat the potato salad. And once you say no, now you are the picky child.
Yep.
And God, It's like, if they just let you not eat the damn salad, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's like I got everything else on my plate but the potato salad, but now I'm the demon child. Did you realize you just took potatoes and covered them in mayo and mustard? And I'm the one that's
Mayo
crazy?
and mustard and relish.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Don't forget the extra paprika.
Oh, and the paprika.
But I'm the guy. I'm crazy. I'm crazy for not eating it.
I'm sorry.
I'm picky for not eating it. That's wild, bro.
I spit there. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh.
Shit. It's funny. You gotta edit it.
Oh, wow.
Put a little doof there.
Jeez, man.
What were we talking about?
All right.
Oh, it's more manly shit.
More manly shit.
Yeah.
Never eat the last piece of something you didn't buy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I got to think too. I won't open anything that I didn't buy either.
Same here.
Yeah, like somebody buy a bag of chips. Like, yeah, just open. I'm like, nah, you got to open it. You got to have the first chip. Like, I'll eat all of it. That isn't that first and the last chip. But like, I'm not doing it.
It's funny. Another thing. If you leave it out for a day,
Fair game.
I consider it fair.
Yep.
That's that. Yeah,
So
we had that rule back in back when we lived together too.
So like with that pizza that you had made,
Oh, for sure.
I took a piece and I left the last piece there, and I just watched.
Waited.
I waited. And then when midnight came and everyone else was asleep, I was like, "Oh,
It was slowly going. Cause I didn't like that piece, so I'm glad you liked it.
okay."
A win's a win then.
It was alright. It made me think about making my own pizzas because I felt like I may be able to.
Yours would be way better. It was I thought it was a pepperoni bacon pizza. It was like a bacon and bacon pizza. So the pepperonis were actually like
Just big pieces of
cuts
bacon.
of bacon. Yeah.
Hard pepperoni.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's like Canadian bacon and regular bacon.
Okay. All right. Our next one: never make the first offer in a negotiation. I feel like that's a good rule of thumb.
It makes sense.
I would know. I actually have a little problem with not bartering. Is it bartering? Yeah, bartering. Haggling. That's the
Haggling.
word.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it at all, to be honest.
It's not a skill of mine, but I know like the basic tenets of it.
Yeah, I can usually get. I can fumble through the beginning of it. Like I'm a good talker in general, like just normal everyday day to day stuff. Not necessarily specifically in any type of like buying bartering thing. I'm like I do well enough to like be all right.
If I care enough about something, then I'll give it away easily. It's easy when you don't care about it. Then you can just
make arbitrary numbers. Yeah, whatever. It's cool. Okay. Don't take credit for work you didn't do. I think that's pretty standard.
Oh, we're talking about good guy things.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is positive man stuff. I feel like we did enough negative, gaslighty man stuff. So
yeah, that's right. I haven't eaten a salad since that podcast. I'm
balance, as all things should be.
Stamping.
Take blame and give credit when due. Yeah. Yep. If you're not invited, don't ask to go.
I mean, if you're... that's sad. That's a little sad.
I feel like that was situational.
Yeah.
For the fact that, like, if it's something to further yourself that can benefit you, you should do it. You should still ask.
Yeah, anything at all.
If it's just like a party that you didn't get invited to, just stay your ass at home and watch Netflix.
Okay, you convinced me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
But if it's something that can actually like affect your life, go for it.
Yeah, no barriers.
Yeah, like it. Always aim for the head.
Okay,
that's got so many different applications, like so many different ways to take that one.
I took it as like, just give it everything you got.
Well, you might end
up going for the kill. You know what I'm saying? Like just don't let opportunities pass by you. That whole type of deal.
Saying we're at like octuple entendre here. I'm sorry.
Or if someone's trying to get you, murder them and shoot them in the face.
Ryan played Fear and Hunger. Aiming for the head is not the optimal strategy.
Oof.
Certain cases.
Situational, depending on what it is.
Hungry.
Don't beg for a relationship.
Oh, that's
that's right. Yeah, you're not gonna get it. It's weird though. It always works in the animes.
if you act awkward enough. Oh, I don't like girls.
Hear them 2 episodes later.
You grab their legs while crying and go like, please let me smash.
Yeah, and then by the end of the episode, in the epilogue, you have 3 kids. Dress well no matter the occasion.
Oh, yeah. Failing at that one.
So is weird. Right?
Well, dressing well is, subjective.
I guess so. Dress for the occasion.
Dress for the occasion.
Wear clothes.
Definitely should wear clothes. Always carry cash. I'm real bad at that one. I've seen too many people actually get robbed. So I just don't really carry cash. Unless someone gives me money for something to buy, like the money you guys gave me for food. Yeah, I'm just going to put that in the bank. Like, I'm not going to carry that shit.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it is a good idea to have some cash, like, in your car or something. Just maybe not necessarily on your person. Yeah.
But even nowadays, because I feel like everything now, I haven't been lost in the sticks or nothing like that, but it seems like everything now has a debit card reader of some sort.
But I mean, it only has to happen once.
True.
True. Yeah, I've been in some weird, random places that have like out camping and stuff. And they don't have like a credit card machine, and some of them have like Apple Pay stuff.
That's what I mean.
So I'm like, yeah, it's good. Gets right at a point, now.
Yeah, even like you go deep in the hood. When I see stuff deep in the hood, that's like, Yeah,
because the way I feel like, so like, all right, you have like center mass, right? So this is like your downtown areas, your lived in areas, and then you got like the hood and the sticks. Yeah, like spread on opposite direction. Yeah. Once it gets to this point and it reaches the equal distance in the sticks, you're good. It's everywhere now.
Yeah. Because about maybe 5-6 years ago, they didn't have, a lot of gas stations didn't have debit machines or whatever.
Yeah. The moment I saw EBT at Taco Bell, then I was like, we're good.
Yep. Everybody has what they need.
Everyone has one. Okay, we did the listen and most of all make eye contact. Show restraint in expressing anger no matter what. Being angry is a waste of energy. So I agree with the first half, not the second half. True.
Anger can be, that's something I learned too. Anger can be like really harnessed for all types of stuff.
Yeah, you need to get that emotion out because like you definitely, if you're mad, you should definitely be mad. I mean, I'm not saying go punch stuff, express the level of, but if you're in a situation where you need to be classy and take care of the anger where you can. But you should definitely be mad, be angry.
Yes, it's a great motivational tool for like all sorts of creativity.
Working out. Whatever hump you need to get over in your life.
I had read this story that said that when you express your anger, you'd better make it meaningful because it only matters once. So like if you're ever angry for no reason, if you ever express angry and you're out of pocket, that'll weaken your image forever.
It'll make you seem unstable for one thing. And I don't know, it's
a thing that like the negatives always go all the way to positive. Like you do a million good things, but like once you do that one big bad thing, it's very hard to balance that back out.
I think the story is actually a pretty good example. All right, so in the story, I was just where I got this from. There was a king who had a soldier who was his guest, and eventually the king found another soldier who had a history with the first soldier, and the second soldier offered to train the first soldier, but it was actually just the second soldier picking a fight, and the second soldier just beat the hell out of the first soldier. But this was an insult to the king because the first soldier was his guest. The second soldier came in ostensibly as a guest, but instead basically disrespected the king. So the king, who was also a warrior, took up the practice sword and was like, I'll be your next opponent. And the second soldier was like, okay, do you have any rules? And the king was like, no, that doesn't matter. This isn't going to take long. And then the king beat the shit out of the second soldier. And that's where that king had learned from their father, basically, that when you show anger, you better make it meaningful. So the king angrily beat the shit out of the second soldier. And was like, don't ever disrespect me like that again. Get the fuck out.
But yeah, anger in that situation shows multiple things. It shows the care for the soldier, like the care for the soldier, like that, you're I willingly wanted you into my home and I wanted to break bread with you and you were disrespected. And it's a protecting him, an apology.
Yeah.
And then of course he's a king, so he has to assert his dominance.
Yeah.
A warrior king at that.
Yes. So it was completely justified in all ways. I thought it was a really good lesson.
I agree. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to. Because I always say because people always say violence isn't violence isn't the answer. I'm like, violence isn't the only answer and should never be the first answer, but sometimes it is the answer.
Yeah.
And I think it's too really naive to say that violence isn't the answer.
I think it's super naive too.
Yeah. It speaks to the culture you came from. That if you are from a culture that has the lofty position where they can say that, then you're blessed.
You are blessed.
And
you're truly blessed.
And you're just lying to yourself because you didn't get to this position without violence. You don't maintain this position without violence.
Yeah, they can ignore that.
They can
ignore it. Yeah.
It's like, that's in the past.
What do you mean we killed thousands of people? It's like all their land and claimed the country. Don't worry about that. Whether it's dinner, drinks, or both, avoid placing your phone on the dinner table.
Yeah. Turn this shit off. Get that off the dinner table. Come on, man.
When we go out, I always put mine on the very opposite edge of the table if we are somewhere.
There is one thing, though. If everyone at the table is also of the same mind, then it's totally fine. If everyone at the table is, was born after 19. I mean, okay.
After us.
Man, I went on a date with somebody who we didn't even have these phones yet. We didn't have flip phones yet. It was just the Nokias. And
what are you doing with your Nokia for that long?
Huh?
What are you doing with a Nokia for more than 37 seconds?
that's what we had at the time.
Playing Snake?
And yeah, that's what I was doing because my date was just on the phone the whole time, and she had took me to this expensive restaurant without telling me, and I was in my hoodie. I was not dressed for this. They had a fucking piano in this restaurant, and I was not dressed for it.
Got a hoodie on,
so
bro.
she took me to this restaurant, and she was texting her ex the whole time, and I was just like, "What is this clown show
doing?
I'm participating in."
This is tomfoolery at its finest.
Yeah.
That's out of pocket.
That was out of pocket.
She was mad at her ex because she bought him an Xbox game, but he didn't want to return it or something like that, and it was just
just stupid, messy mess.
Yeah, that was the last date I went on with that individual.
Yeah, nice catch.
It's weird.
Nice save there.
And the last one was never posed with alcohol.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's weirdly specific.
That is weirdly specific. Kind of.
I think it should say more so don't pose while drunk would be a better one. Because posing you could take a nice. You have a having a beer in the backyard in the barbecue or something
Where'd you get that? ChristianMingle.com?
I think you can expand that one to don't pose with wealth.
Yeah.
With whatever you consider your wealth to be, don't show it off.
Yeah.
What is it they call? They said show up, don't
show out. Or
I think it's something like that. Show up, don't show out.
I think as Black people, we show up and also show out. I think that is just kind of what we do, and that's just kind of how it's going to be for the rest of the time. Oh, but yeah, probably showing up and not showing your whole ass is probably the best thing to do. But
it's a good way of putting it.
But we
don't show your whole ass.
You know what I mean? One cheek at a time is okay, man. When you showing both of them, that's why you doing that, man?
Yeah, you taking things too far.
It's a little too much for that.
Oh man, that's an interesting list. Interesting list. I feel like you say, about 10 of them.
10, 12 of them, somewhere around there. Most of them are solid.
Yeah.
With a little bit of tweaking.
Mm-hmm. I feel some stuff was missing too. There was no stuff about actual leadership there.
Yeah.
Mentorship, and I think as a man you should also be prepared to step into a mentorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, mentorship.
You should also be What people don't realize either, though, is that like a lot of people try to be leaders, and it's like you need to be a follower before you can be a leader. Like, oh no, I'm not a follower. It's like you don't know how to lead if you don't know how to follow.
Yeah,
because if you never follow, you don't know what followers need from a leader. So like,
I think a more palatable version of that is you gotta learn how to learn before you can learn how to lead. That's like a more, because people when they hear follow, they're like, oh,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's the same shit though.
It is. It is.
If you have a job, you've been a follower before.
Yeah.
You know?
We've all been followers.
You shouldn't act like it's a shameful thing.
It just has, the word just has such a negative connotation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, like, know why
Unless
you follow.
you talk about the Bible.
True. You should know why you follow before you follow someone.
Yeah. You should never blindly follow. Just don't blindly follow people. Always know why you look up to people, why you follow people, why you want to be like people. You should know. For sure. 100%. It's not. You're pretty cult.
Easily.
That's just a cult.
It's a lot of that happening nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
It's like a lot of cults that are just not called by cults. They're not called cults, but they are essentially cults.
Yeah.
But not slightly less than perfect. You can trust these smiling faces unless they won't look you in the eye or anything like this.
Yeah. If you're forming a parasocial relationship with us, that's a little bit culty. Cut it out.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't make us a cult.
Yeah, we don't want to be a cult.
Not yet, anyway.
We do want to entertain you, so if we aren't entertaining, let us know vehemently
in the comment section below.
Yeah.
Or review on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're not your friends. We're your clowns.
Okay.
We're your jesters. Maybe that's a little
jesters.
We're court jesters.
Court jesters?
I mean, entertainment. You dance with somebody.
So looking that up, I didn't realize that jesters had pretty high prestige in kingdoms back in the day. Like the lead jester was like held a level of importance.
They weren't paupers for sure.
For sure. But I mean, they weren't at the level of, like, let's say, like, your knights or your advisors or whatever. But they were, like, high middle tier on the King's shopping block.
Shit, bro, you didn't have TV.
Shopping.
I mean, because everyone's on the shopping block.
So,
as the king in, like, the kingly times, like, everyone
bro,
can be,
imagine, you got your own castle, you bored, you got your own Tyler Perry, like, you good for, you know.
A little bit.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, like, what's the difference between like pulling up Netflix and showing up a show? This, 30 jesters is like,
bring
me that one. You step forward.
That's it.
So, what was their purpose really? What were they there? Why were they?
Just purely, it was like entertainment for the king and their guests.
Court comedians.
Yeah, entertainment was very hard to come by. I mean, you just had books. And the land.
But you gotta think books is vague though. Because how many people could actually read? Like grand scheme,
not too many.
7.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate actually. But a court jester brings merriment to all.
Merriment, joy.
Yeah,
unexpected, but
tomfoolery.
So were court jesters held in the same esteem as like modern day comedians? Because comedians are referred to as storytellers. They're not just funny.
Facts.
They tell you stuff about the world that everybody can't say.
They tell truth through lies.
Yeah. I like that. They didn't. What I read, it wasn't like a compare. Like it didn't go through like the history of a jester going to a comedian. But in my mind, it only makes sense that like comedians are like still have that level of status because it's like. All the jobs and stuff that we hold status with now, like they've always been there. They just shifted to the time. So I imagine, that would be the same thing. Because I mean, like thinking about like the true storytellers back in like Greece and shit. They had like the entire Colosseum that they were like speaking to, and now we do the same thing to watch Dave Chappelle. 50,000 people to watch him talk. Yeah, dance, do stuff.
Poets too. Back in the day. Way back in the day.
Still today too.
Because fucking Dante, when I read that way back in the day, it was some funny stuff in there. Like the way he like referenced people from actual history and like put them in different circles of hell and just like rain on a day. Like, oh, you're a part of the shit circle of hell. Like you just living shit all day.
Just throwing shots at people.
Yeah, just throwing shots at like real life people.
Oh man.
Well,
Usually, man, that's the biggest flex back in the day. In like the 1600s, whatever, you write a book and it's like, for the rest of forever, everyone know that you lived in shit.
And people didn't research the history, so it's like, hey, my this is history to you.
Yeah, this is what he did. The most interesting thing I thought about with like that reference to like Dante and stuff is the fact that like it is poetry. Like although pretty much all old literature is just poetry. So the thing I would want to look up or look into would be like, when did we switch from like straight up everything being like more poetry to like book format?
That is interesting.
I think I don't know what is the technical definition between like a poem and like a story.
I don't really know enough about that part of literature.
I guess we would need to know the language they were using at the time.
Because they do
call it Italian, right? Dante's from wasn't originally Italian?
Yes.
Written in Italian, I should say.
Yes.
I mean, I know Dante was Italian. He didn't write it in Latin or something, did he?
No. It was legit Middle Ages.
Middle Ages? OG Italian?
Yeah. Like around, when did Dante write that shit? Was it 700 or? It was like the late hundreds that he wrote that.
Sure.
I think at the latest it was like 1200, but it might have been like around, what was it, like around 500 AD, sometime AD in the hundreds. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But all that stuff they aren't called novels or nothing like that. Like, for instance, the Nordic, the Edda.
Oh yeah.
That's called something very specific. I can't recall.
What is that? Like, is that their mythology?
That's where like most of the stories, a lot of the Nordic stories come from.
Okay,
is the Edda. Like a lot of stuff with like Loki and I think
Beowulf,
Freya, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then Beowulf was.
I feel like it was like a second Edda for some reason, but I don't know why I think that. I should really look it up, but my phone is off.
Yeah, Beowulf is considered one of the earliest. Something.
Is that it's not the earliest form of literature, but is it the earliest literature? Like the earliest, Beowulf is something. It is something.
Yeah, it's like the first something, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I read it, because it was considered the first. It's not the first story or the first.
Is it the first? I don't know what it is. The first epic or the first hero? It's the first something. Whatever. Beowulf is the first something or other.
Yeah.
Because like it's a big claim to fame.
Then you have the other one that's like what's his name? Is he Akkadian? The guy from Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh. Yeah, that's the first. That might be actually the first. That's also the first something that I can't recall. Yeah, I'll have the stuff in the description or whatever.
Yeah, mythology.
Mythology.
Nerd.
Nah, that stuff's good.
I mean, it's all media. All media just mythology all over and over again.
Man,
I don't know.
that era, like when I was reading all that shit, one of my favorites was Odyssey. The Odyssey. That was such a good story.
Yeah, he went on an adventure.
Yeah. And when I read that, when I was done with it, I was like, this guy's just like not medieval, but he's just Batman for this era.
Yeah, because he was planning. He was planning and scheming, and
he was just making stuff happen. And I was really excited, like years and years ago, when they actually made like Batman Odyssey. Like they made that.
Oh yeah,
that was actually like a comic run. I was like, yeah, I always thought these are similar characters.
It makes a lot of sense. Did you read the Iliad too?
I read because a part of Iliad was just what's the name, right? Achilles heel guy. Achilles.
Achilles heel guy.
Yeah. Iliad was just Achilles.
He was the guy with the Achilles heels. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Achilles, as known in the Epic of Achilles heel.
I didn't read. I was gonna say Achilles. I didn't read the Iliad, but it was referenced so hard in the Odyssey that I did want to read it, but I never got around to it. The Iliad is essentially the prequel
Yeah.
to the Odyssey.
That's why I asked about it.
Yeah.
Because I read the beginning of the Odyssey and then kind of just read highlights for like the rest of it.
The Iliad's wild. I think Troy was like a really good representation of what happened in a lot of the Iliad.
Yeah.
You saw Troy with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, it was just so much.
There's a lot, right?
Betrayal and murder and incest and just sex and murder. It's just so much sex and murder in history.
Man, Hector got it bad.
Oh,
and
man.
And the kicker is like a lot of people that get murked, they get murked for reasons and they don't even know why they got murked. They just gone for like political gain or whatever. And it's just like
political gain, slights. You just got slighted once. That's it. You gotta go.
Because imagine now, like equivalent now, like you talk shit about someone on social media. Back then, they just chop your head off in your sleep and you just go about it.
Hell, the Odyssey, man. Like it was like they didn't know Odysseus was dead. I mean, they didn't know he was alive. They assumed he was dead. So like they're just squatting in his house. He just comes back and just slaughters everybody.
Ooh.
Like they were all trying to like win the affections of his wife, but like they're doing it in the worst way possible. They were trying to like marry her or whatever. They weren't just trying to like have their way. They were trying to actually like be her husband. He just came back and slaughtered everybody.
Fair enough, man.
He was like, "Hey son, close the door." They didn't know what was happening. They didn't know what was going on.
I mean, to be fair though, you come back from a long journey. 5-6 years later, come up to the crib. All you want to do is get some meat, clap some cheeks, and go to sleep.
Yeah, and
you got a whole posse of motherfuckers in your house.
Yeah. As I remember though, didn't he promise to be back in like 2 years?
Yeah, but he was gone
for like 7
a lifetime. No, his son was like a baby. Then he came back. His son was a man.
Oh,
so it's probably about 20 or close.
Well, yeah. To be fair though, he did get like strapped on an island for some years,
dude.
In the underworld for some time.
He had the worst luck of all time because he was cursed by the gods essentially. So yeah, everything that could happen wrong did happen wrong.
So why do we call it Murphy's Law and not Odysseus' Law?
Because Odysseus actually got out of it.
Well, Odysseus, he sort of deserved it. In a way, he deserved it.
Hey, man, he just said GG. He was leaving, and the Cyclops just couldn't take a loss. He had to go tattle like a little bitch.
Yeah, he did. He did. Father.
Well, to be fair, too, though, you did kill a son of Poseidon, and your entire mode of transportation is the sea.
I do like the idea of that, So when Oedipus, what was his name? Odysseus was leaving the island, and he looked back at the Cyclops, and he was like, "GG, easy."
He's like, one arrow, one eye, one shot, one kill.
GG. Ha, you suck.
You had to call the dad to take the mic.
Man, that was terrifying too, because he was trapped in this cave with that Cyclops. And he found a way out of it. He kept finding a way out of everything. And just more stuff kept happening.
It's arguable at some point. It's like, should I just die? Like, should I just took the L right there and just like, bruh, because this is...
That's why I gotta appreciate the man, because he kept going. And, man, his arrows was crazy.
He our first Shonen? Is that like our...
Kinda. Because he came back, and when he came back, Athena gave him like his full strength or whatever. Because he was like an old man for like most of the journey. Then he came back and he became like a young guy again. And then he shot. It was like they lined up like I think like 10 axe heads or so. Shot one arrow. Arrow went through all of them. And came back. He was hiding in a little.
Like went through 10 axe heads or went through the heads of 10 guys named Axe.
I mean later, yeah. Later, yes. Sure. Axius, yes. He killed so many Axies. He murdered him. And the murder was depicted exactly like it was. It was just a straight up slaughter because the men in his little bar area, they had no weapons.
So it wasn't drinking, chilling.
It wasn't heroic at all. There was no like clash of the swords. It was straight up. They didn't know he was there. He was the only guy with a weapon, him and his son, and they were just like cross-sketching everybody. It was just a straight up slaughter. And when I read that, I was like,
"Hey man,
this hero is just."
Hey, we just learned Always aim for the head.
Yeah.
The rules of being a man, and Odysseus took it to heart.
Yeah.
That's right.
That
Always make eye contact.
That man, he incorporated a lot of the tenets on that list because he gave no quarter. You know, he did everything he could to secure the person to the side of him, his son, his combat in arms, and the person behind him, his wife. Even if it took like murdering a bunch of his countrymen, no less. You know? Yeah.
Oh, so good though.
Yeah. Good story. Recommended read.
Good one, yeah. Greek mythology is fun.
Yeah.
Unless you're a part of it. Anyways.
Yeah, unless you're a demigod. Then that's when it gets all weird. But yeah, man, that's it today. Episode 19. We're going up on a dub. But yeah, guys, thanks for having us. As always, the subs are going up, so thank you for that. Really appreciate you. If you listen to us on audio only, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, like give us a review. Let us know how we're doing. You know, you like us, you don't like us, let us know. Whatever you do, don't lie about it. Just be honest. If you like us, you like us. If you don't, just go about your day. Just cool. Don't worry about it. On that note, your bed stay warm, your pillow stay cold.
Stay perfect, chat.
Peace.